What if every woman in your family tree died mysteriously and no one would talk about it? When the youngest daughter starts digging into her ancestors' past, she uncovers a chilling pattern of silence, secrets, and death. The women in the Harper family were known for their strength and their silence. At every holiday, the matriarchs would gather in the kitchen, speaking in hushed tones, their laughter edged with something unspoken. The men were always outnumbered, but it was the women who ruled the house. Still, there were rules. Never ask about the past, never mention the old country, and never, ever talk about the women who were gone. For as long as she could remember, Lily Harper had felt the weight of those silences. She was the youngest of three sisters, the only one who dared to ask questions. Her mother, Evelyn, would brush her off. "Some things are better left alone, Lily." Her grandmother, Agnes, would simply shake her head and change the subject. But Lily couldn't let it go. She wanted to know why her great-aunt's portrait was hidden in the attic, why her cousin's name was never spoken, why every family story seemed to end in a whisper. It wasn't until her grandmother's funeral that Lily found her first clue. In a box of old letters, she discovered a faded newspaper clipping. "Local woman found dead. Foul play suspected." The woman's name was Margaret Harper. The date was 1952. The cause of death? Asphyxiation. Circumstances suspicious. Lily's heart pounded. She'd never heard of Margaret, and she was determined to find out why. Lily's curiosity became obsession. She spent nights in the attic, poring over family Bibles, birth certificates, and faded photographs. She noticed a pattern. Every generation a woman died young. Her great-grandmother, her great-aunt, her cousin's mother. The causes of death were always vague: accident, illness, tragic circumstances. But the details, when she could find them, were eerily similar. All had been found alone. All had marks on their necks. All had been silenced. She brought her findings to her mother, who grew angry. "Let the dead rest, Lily. You're just scaring yourself." But Lily pressed on, reaching out to distant relatives, searching public records, and even visiting the local library's archives. She found more clippings, more obituaries, more stories of women who had vanished or died mysteriously. The pattern was undeniable. Every woman who asked too many questions, who challenged the family's silence, ended up dead. Lily realized she was not just uncovering history, she was putting herself in danger. As Lily dug deeper, the atmosphere in the house changed. Her sisters, Anna and Grace, grew distant, warning her to stop. "You're making Mom nervous," Anna whispered. Grace, always the peacemaker, begged her to let it go. "It's just old stories, Lily. Don't stir things up." But Lily couldn't stop. She started having nightmares, visions of women in white dresses, their mouths sewn shut, reaching out to her. She woke up gasping, her throat tight, her heart racing. She found strange things in her room: a lock of hair, a broken locket, and a note that read, "Some secrets are better left buried." Her mother became more controlling, forbidding her from going out, taking away her phone. Lily felt trapped, suffocated by the very silence she was trying to break. But she was more determined than ever to find the truth. One stormy night, Lily snuck into the attic and found a false bottom in her grandmother's trunk. Inside was a diary written in a shaky hand. It belonged to Margaret Harper, the woman from the newspaper clipping. The diary was a confession, a record of fear and suspicion. Margaret wrote about being watched, about hearing footsteps at night, about a curse that claimed the women who spoke out. The last entry was chilling. "I know they're coming for me. I tried to warn the others, but no one listens. If you find this, don't trust them. The silence is not protection, it's a weapon." Lily's hands shook as she read. She realized the danger was not just in the past. Someone in the family was still enforcing the silence. The next morning, Lily found a note on her pillow: "Stop digging or you'll end up like the others." She showed it to her sisters, but they denied any involvement. Her mother insisted it was a prank, but Lily knew better. She started to suspect everyone: her mother, her sisters, even her aunts. She installed a camera in her room, hoping to catch the culprit. That night, she saw a shadowy figure enter, rifling through her drawers. The footage was blurry, but the figure's movements were familiar. Lily's blood ran cold. It was her mother. Confronted, Evelyn broke down. She confessed that the family had always known about the pattern of deaths. "It's not a curse, Lily. It's a warning. The women who ask too many questions, they don't survive. I was trying to protect you." But Lily refused to be silenced. She decided to go public with her findings, determined to break the cycle. Lily called a family meeting, inviting every living female relative. She presented her research, the clippings, the diary, the pattern of deaths. Some women wept, others grew angry. A few stormed out, refusing to listen. But as Lily spoke, a sense of solidarity grew. The women began to share their own stories of threats, of secrets, of fear. They realized they were not alone. The silence that had divided them for generations was finally breaking. But not everyone was ready for the truth. One aunt, furious at Lily for exposing the family, threatened to disown her. Another warned that the men won't like this. But Lily stood her ground. "We have to stop being afraid," she said. "We have to protect each other." As the women united, the danger escalated. Lily received threatening phone calls. Her car was vandalized, and she was followed home from school. She suspected one of her uncles, a man with a history of violence, but had no proof. One night, Lily was attacked in her own home. She fought back, using the self-defense skills her grandmother had taught her. Her attacker fled, but not before she recognized him, her cousin's husband, a man who had always resented the women's power in the family. The police were called, and the man was arrested. He confessed to being part of a group of men in the family who had enforced the silence for generations, punishing women who threatened the status quo. Lily realized the true enemy was not a curse, but a legacy of control and violence. With the truth out, the women pressed charges and went public with their story. The media picked it up, and the Harper family became a symbol of breaking generational cycles of abuse and silence. Lily's courage inspired other women in the community to come forward with their own stories. Support poured in from across the country. The family reputation suffered, but the women felt free for the first time in generations. Evelyn apologized to Lily, admitting she had been wrong to protect the secret. The sisters reconciled, vowing to support each other and never let fear rule their lives again. The Harper women began to heal. They started a foundation to help victims of family violence, using their story to educate others. Lily became a spokesperson, sharing her journey and encouraging others to break the silence. The home, once a place of secrets, became a refuge for women in need. The portraits of the lost women were restored and displayed with honor. The men who had enforced the silence were held accountable, and the cycle of fear was finally broken. Lily found peace, knowing she had changed her family's legacy. Years later, Lily stood in the family garden, surrounded by her sisters, cousins, and nieces. They laughed, shared stories, and celebrated their freedom. The silence that had haunted the Harper women was gone, replaced by voices raised in joy and solidarity. The daughters of silence had become daughters of strength. If you believe in the power of breaking generational silence and standing up for the truth, share this story with someone who needs hope. What would you do if your family's history was built on secrets? Let us know in the comments below.